Hello, everybody out there. Happy Cancer season to you all. Today we have a blessed guest straight from the heart of the Midwest, the homeland. This is Mary Mahoney. And Mary is a psychotherapist, certified, by the way, if you need some help. I don't know, are you taking new clients?
That is a good question. I'm taking clients who are interested in doing some of my new weird therapies I'm practicing, which we'll talk about in a minute.
And then you're an energy healer. Have to hear more about that. Hypnotherapist and a mom.
Yes.
Happily mother. So tell me a little bit about the energy healing you're doing.
Sure. So as Dr. Irwin knows, I was very out of my body for most of my life. And she would often tell me, you have to be in your body. Nothing's gonna change for you if you're not in your body. And as a therapist, I still just couldn't do it. And then the pandemic happened. And I started just becoming really anxious. And one of my clients told me about this thing called tapping. I used to do a lot of acupuncture before the pandemic. So I became interested in energy healing because of the pandemic. I was having a lot of anxiety and just the regular ways of healing myself weren't working. And I had a client who introduced me to tapping, Scorpio client, they know. And I got really into it and I decided I wanted to get trained in it because I was also looking for a form of therapy that I could do with people in the short term so that I could see people for pro bono or for really low fees, which I'm not able to do in long-term talk therapy. And just because I'm in private practice, pretty newly in private practice, I was a social worker for a lot of years. I've still been trying to figure out ways to work with other populations than those who can afford $175 a session. So tapping felt like a really good way to do that. So I got trained in it. And that sort of began my whole journey into energy medicine. And it's super fascinating and I'm obsessed. And I met this person who is a Reiki master while I was doing all this tapping energy work. And she trains therapists how to use Reiki in their therapy practices. So I also got level 2 Reiki trained. And I became really with tapping and with Reiki, I sort of accidentally developed this specialty of working with animals, working with my clients' animals, because a lot of our animals have been freaking out during the pandemic too. So I was reading books on Reiki for animals, and my tapping teacher taught me how to tap on my cat. So actually I have one of my cats right here, and you can it's called surrogate tapping. So my cat's name is Dar. And when you surrogate tap, you basically just take on the energy of the creature you're tapping for. So I would say, I am Dar, and even though I really don't like being held right now, I know that I'm safe. And you just tap up and down animals' spines. And you'll see their pupils will go back to regular size and they'll become calm again. And then, so I have these 3 really old cats and I've been terrified about them dying. And so part of why I got trained in Reiki was because I wanted to be able to offer a healing space for them while they're in hospice. And as it turns out, cancer season, my cat of 16 years, we're doing at-home hospice for him right now. It's been super sad, but he's really been responding well to the Reiki and the tapping, and it's been really, really sweet. And it's been just this really spiritual, beautiful way for us to connect. So that is my energy healing journey so far. And today I'm going to do some tapping with you guys, Dr. Irwin.
Woohoo!
Gang.
And are you the mother of just cats?
No, and I also have a 4-year-old daughter. She is asleep. We couldn't, we thought about doing this with her around, but she's also like in one of those phases where she like doesn't want to be alone because she's scared of bugs. So we couldn't really like have her in here. And I've been talking to her about the cats dying, and we've been trying to let her know, like, we have a lot of animals and we call it the heavens. We have a lot of like dead animals in the heavens. So we've been trying to really promote the heavens as like a great place. So now her thing is, I really want to die. I want to die right now because I'm scared of bugs and there's no bugs in the heavens. And I want to see all the cats in the heavens. So that has been my week, you guys. Cats dying in my closet, trying to explain to my 4-year-old about death. And now I'm here to talk about cancer season. And it's kind of appropriate because I have cancer in the 12th house. So it does kind of make sense to me that I'm confronting some end of life stuff right now.
Sure enough. Sure enough. Well, honey, let's get to it. I will say, I pulled some tarot cards for the directionals for the new moon.
Okay.
And I do find it interesting that the central spirit card out of the 5th direction is the Knight of Cups. So with the Knight of Cups, we think about protecting our emotional well-being and emotional state.
Yeah.
It's a good way to do this.
That's perfect. That's so perfect.
A little tap.
Yeah, I feel like tapping is so great for cancer season. Because cancers are just all about like nurturing themselves and other people, and tapping is such a great way to just show some love to your body. Cancers, as we all know, cancers, because of the moon and all that, they go through some moods every couple days. And so tapping is also just a really great way to work with your moods and your moodiness, if that's something that comes up for you. So we can use tapping for things like really like complex trauma. We can use it for addiction, cravings, phobias like fear of flying, and then limiting beliefs is a really great way to use it. But what I'm going to show everyone today, because it's just like a simple practice you can do without a therapist, is just how to tap on like a feeling or a mood that either you want to get to know a little better or that you feel ready to move out of your body. Are we ready? Do we have any other things we want to say about cancers yet?
I'll just say too, not just only cancers, but everyone can move through these mini cycles every 2.5 days.
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, it's very intricate. You can really get in there and get to know your energetics through that.
Yeah, I remember you told me a while back to keep a moon journal, which I haven't done, but you guys should do it. It seems like a really good idea.
Or, yep, I'm coming out with a course, so you can take that too.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but the moon for your daily routine.
Okay. Well, I will take that course. So let me see how I want to do this. Let's just do like a little warm up. So the like sort of like mother of energy medicine. Well, there's a couple. So there's Donna Eden, Carolyn Mess, but Donna Eden wrote this energy medicine book, and she does like all these little cute, cool things that you can do in like a minute. So we'll start with one of those. So this is just a tap you can do like when you wake up in the morning, and it's for grounding and for making sure all of your energy is flowing in the same direction. So a lot of times when we feel like dissociated, like kind of out of our body, whether we're super anxious or super depressed, it's because like our energy is like going in like all crazy directions and it's not flowing one way. So this is a good way to just get it flowing one way. So we start here. So we might spend a little time on this point today, actually.
Glasses off?
What? You don't need to take your glasses off. No. You look so comfortable though. So we might spend some time on this point today because this is the stomach point, and Cancer rules the stomach. So Cancer has like is known for having more like digestive issues, or maybe like overeating, or feelings of jealousy or coveting or hoarding, right? So those are all sort of like stomach issues. This is solar plexus. And this is just, but anyway, if you're just having like a really bad minute, just tapping here is going to help you feel really grounded. Take a couple deep breaths. It's really nice. I was at a boat party the other day and it was pretty silly, I have to say. If I could have like seen myself, actually, I was just going around and people were feeling like seasick and I was like, just tap right here. They said they felt better, but I think they were humoring me. So this is a really nice one. And then we're going to come down here. This is the kidney point. And it's kind of like, if you can hit it, like right where these little knobs are. But yeah, like the little knobs, it's the collarbone. Like it all kind of reverberates. So even if you're not getting the exact spot, like it's cool. So this is the one for making sure your energy is flowing in the same direction. Here's the thymus point. So this is like your heart point, and it rules your immune system. It's your power center. It's like a really important one. Kind of like hurts a little bit.
You're a sympathetic. What?
It kind of hurts a little bit when you tap it. So one thing with tapping, when you are doing the points, you might find that some are a little more sensitive than others. And that's like an indication to you that you might need to do some clearing there, meaning you'll just need to spend a little more time there. And then, okay, this is going to get a little under the boobs. This is your spleen point. This is for like balancing. So if you're like two in your head or two in your heart or kind of like out of your spirit, this kind of helps you integrate everything. So that's just like a really basic one you can do in the morning. You don't even have to say anything. You also want to make sure you're drinking water because it's the fuel for the energy system. So if you're tapping and you find it's not working, just drink some water, like this.
What about tea? Can you drink teas?
Well, tea, I would say tea is
herbal.
If you're having like a sympathetic shock in your nervous system. So anyway, when I say energy system, it's also like meridian system. Nervous system is like sort of like the trendy, like Western therapy way of like dealing with this part of yourself. So when you're in your sympathetic shock, which means you're kind of having like an anxious reaction to something, you want to do heat. So you can drink like hot tea when you're in that, or like put a blanket over you or something. If you're in like a parasympathetic state where you're feeling really numb or like really depressed, you want to drink something cold. You want to put like an ice pack on your neck. With tapping though, just drink water because like it's a good excuse to drink water. Okay, Dr. Irwin?
Okay. Sounds good. You always need to drink more water.
Yeah.
I have such a tiny little bladder. You know, it gets a little hard when you get there. You gotta wear your little stinks things all the time. You can't laugh anymore so much because You never know what's gonna squirt out.
So this is just how this is going to go, because like all I'm thinking about is my cats right now. But my cat literally peed on me in the middle of the night, and yeah.
Oh, that must have stunk it up.
It was like burning. It was so hot. I was like, what's happening?
I wonder if there were like kidney stones in there or something.
He's in like late stage kidney failure. Anyway, you can cut that part out.
You like to be real around here, you don't know.
So let's do a tap. So I was thinking, cancers tend to struggle with depression. That's like one of the mental health issues that like comes up for them probably the most. So we could just do like, I don't know if that's like too depressing, but we could do a tap for depression. Or if you want to pull like a tarot, we can do that and see what it wants us to do.
I pulled a tarot for each direction.
Okay.
So I could do that. Or we could do the depression one.
I'm feeling like, with my job, probably with your job too, I'm sure you see this, but it's just like we get to like tap into the collective unconscious. And I have been just like noticing everybody's pretty depressed for like the last 6 weeks.
My intuition is certainly geared towards the depression one. Okay.
Yep. All right, let's do it. So if you guys want to follow along, first I'm going to go through and just tell you if you're kind of like nerdy about like wanting to know like which organs are affiliated with which emotions and which ones are the points for each part of your body. I'm going to just do that real quick so you have that information. So when we tap, we start at the eyebrow point. This is the bladder. And this is fear of the future. This is trauma and frustration. We move to the side of the eye, which is the gallbladder. This is stored rage. So if you're just like having a moment where you're feeling angry, this is a nice one to tap. This is also...
Temples? Is that your temples?
It's almost like touching your eye.
Okay.
It's like almost getting into the soft part of your eye.
Okay.
This is also like, I know a lot of people who have like TMJ or who clench their pelvic floor.
Yes.
Me. This is like the meridian point, the gallbladder meridian point.
Oh.
Touches on the jaw. And the jaw is the same shape as the pelvic floor and it's directly above it. So if you're clenching your jaw, you're definitely clenching your pelvic floor and vice versa. Yes. People, walk around New York City, like 90% of us are like clenching our pelvic floors and we don't even know it. But so this is a really nice one for that. This is, like I said, this is the gut point. This is like fear, anxiety, cravings, the solar plexus. This is a central meridian point in the body. So it's a really powerful one. And this is fear of saying what you need to say. Fear of speaking your truth. It's obviously like throat chakra stuff. This is also it's the same central meridian point. And this is regret over things that haven't been said, things left, or no, sorry, this one's regret over things you have said. This is like what you haven't said. This is what you have said. Yeah. This is a big one, the kidneys, anger. We're all angry as fuck. So just come on, don't be ashamed. Just tap it out. It's okay to be angry despite what I've been told about myself in the past. This is your spleen point. So this is like, I don't know how well you can see me.
Does it need to be right or left side?
So I'm gonna talk about that in just a second. So you can do either side. So this is your spleen point. If you're tapping on your left side, the left side of your body represents the feminine. So it could be like the feminine part of yourself, or it could be an issue with a woman in your life. It's called the mother wound, this tapping point. And then if we go to the right side, this is the father wound, or issue with masculine part of yourself. So you can always tap both, honestly, it doesn't really matter. There's no really like wrong way to do this. And you can tap like on both sides of your face. I'm to the point now where I just like do it really fast on one side. But yeah, whatever you prefer. And then we get into, do we have time to do like the full eye movement, hand stuff? Yeah, okay. So,
Honey.
What?
All up to you.
Okay, we'll do it. This is the lungs. The lungs, okay, so you're tapping on the side, the outside of your nail. So there's like tons of meridian points in the fingers. Like that's why people like to bite their nails and pick things and shit, because it's like very self-soothing to stimulate these points. So if you're a nail biter, instead of biting, you can just tap. I don't know. It's pretty fun. Lungs, grief, the ego. This is the large intestine. This is the central meridian point again that we were talking about. This is a really nice one. I tap this one a lot. It's jealousy, addiction. It's a goodie. Oh no, my phone's ringing. It's so weird when someone calls me. This is relationships, the ring finger relationships. The pinky, oh gosh, what's the pinky? Oh, it's the heart. Yeah, the pinky is the heart point. So if you're having, if you have any heart issues, tapping is amazing. So if you have like AFib or something like that, or like a tachycardia or heart murmur, because your heart, it's just like energy and electricity.
And do you want to tap that right next to the nail?
Yep, so you're just tapping on the inside, or I guess outside, inside, you're tapping on this part of the nail. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to me because the thumb in astrology is ego, your ego.
Mm-hmm.
This finger is Jupiter. What was it in the EFT?
That's the large intestine.
The middle finger is Saturn. What was this one again?
That's jealousy. That's addiction. The pointer finger is guilt.
Middle finger is jealousy and addiction.
Mm-hmm.
The ring finger is...
That's Venus, yeah. And then this is Mercury, right?
And what is this one again here?
That's like the marriage finger. That's love and relationships.
For EFT?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're having issues with relationships,
yeah.
And then the heart point for the Mercury finger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then our small intestine, which is also grief. And then that's it. So let's just do a round. And
moon area.
Huh?
The moon area here.
So this is, oh, it is? Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
Areas, but moon is in there.
Yeah. This is one of the most powerful points for tapping. And this is where we start, actually. So we're going to start, and I'm going to take you through something that might feel a little silly, where we do some humming and eye movement and counting. But if anyone's familiar with like EMDR or something like that, it's just a way of compartmentalizing like a feeling or a memory, so it's not like pervasive. Okay, so we're just going to do really, really simple. You'll repeat after me. Even though I feel depressed.
Even though I feel depressed.
I completely and deeply accept myself.
I completely and deeply accept myself.
I feel really depressed.
I feel very depressed.
But I accept all of my feelings.
But I accept all of my feelings.
This depression is really hard.
This depression is really hard.
But I completely accept myself.
But I completely accept myself.
You're so cute. I feel depressed.
I feel depressed.
I can't stop these thoughts.
I can't stop these thoughts.
These really negative thoughts.
These are real negative thoughts, aren't they?
I'm so depressed all the time.
I'm so depressed all the time.
Everything feels bad.
Everything feels bad.
All this depression.
All this depression.
All these painful feelings.
All these painful feelings.
Take a deep breath here. All this depression.
All this depression.
I feel so depressed all day.
I feel so depressed all day.
Depressed every day.
Feel depressed every day almost.
Pretty much every day.
Pretty much every day.
It's hard to feel any joy.
It's hard to feel any joy.
I'm afraid I'm always going to feel this way.
I'm afraid I'm always going to feel this way.
So depressed.
I'm so depressed.
All this depression. So you're going to tap right here.
Mhm.
Okay. Now close your eyes and take a deep breath. Open your eyes, look at me. Without moving your head, look down to the left, back at me, down to the right, back at me. Roll your eyes in a giant circle clockwise. And now counterclockwise. Back at me. Now hum happy birthday. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, now back here. All this depression. I'm so depressed. And then we pause. So pause and drink some water, stop tapping. And what I didn't do was ask you what your SUDS number was, so your significant units of distress. It's like the 0 to 10 scale. So if you were at like a 7, if you were feeling whatever you're feeling at a 7, you do like a couple rounds of tapping and you notice if the number's going down. If it's not going down, you should start to feel better immediately. If it's not going down, you want to like drink some water or you want to change what you're saying, because like we could say like, yeah, I'm depressed, but we're not actually getting to the core of why you're depressed. Sometimes it's enough to just acknowledge the feeling, but sometimes you need to go like much deeper into the reason you're depressed and tap on that, and just tap on like whatever thoughts you're having. I did just like, I'm depressed because it's universal. Every person is depressed right now.
But what you're saying now is that you can ad-lib in more specific details as you go.
Absolutely, Dr. Irwin. Yep.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It. Cool.
I start to feel a difference now. Little chi flow than when we began.
It's really fun, like as a practitioner of tapping, because I get like the benefits of tapping with people, because like even if I'm not feeling exactly what they're feeling, it just feels like really nice to hit these points on your body. It's great.
Oh yeah.
And you can get, if you find like a tapping partner, someone that you have really nice chemistry with, especially, it's kind of like how witches are more powerful together, right? Like if we're just like feeding off of each other's positive energy, I find that tapping is so much better with someone else that I feel really connected to.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Sure. Of course. Thank you.
If you have recommendations or resources, we'll put them below.
Oh.
Notes.
Like put them in the chat?
Mary's, yeah, but I'll add them into the video later.
Oh, okay.
But yes, you can put them there. No, you don't need to do it. We'll do it later.
Okay.
And we will put in Mary's information for you, so you can be in touch with her. She's a lovely person to work with. That Midwestern feel, you know. So wholesome, charming. Okay, and do you want to stick around for a little quick new moon tarot delight?
Yeah, I do. That sounds nice.
You have some inputs to put. So we already said what the 5th card is, but now I'm going to go through, and these cards aren't showing up, so I just ain't gonna do it. Maybe I'll take a photo of it later. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of technologically fried these days. So
Yes.
For the North, we have received the Page of Cups reversed. The North represents Earth. So the Earth realm, material realm, physical realms. Then we have, for the East, the 4 of Swords. And the East represents air, mental realm. So, and then we have for the South, which is fire and creativity, we have the High Priestess. And then for the West, which represents water and emotional feelings life, we have the Ace of Swords. Quite a pull. And then again, for the Spirit card, we had the Knight of Cups, which works perfectly for what we just went through with. It's the perfect thing to do, really, is EFT tapping or anything that can really help you to preserve your emotional well-being and just general mental well-being, health and feelings. It's all interconnected, right, with the body and the spirit. So this is just a lovely card. A good way.
I love that we pulled the High Priestess too.
Oh yes. Should we start there then?
Yeah. Yes.
So the High Priestess for the South, for fire and creativity. This is just a great card for that, because it's kind of saying you go do your weird inventions and herbal spells and what have you, whatever tickles your fancy in the creative realms. Maybe it's making herbal tinctures, maybe it's doing painting or drawing or whatever you like to do, but this is a good time to do it. And also to try out some new things, but maybe take a class type of a thing. Something
like a class that you might be teaching.
Well, yes, but those won't be around for a little longer.
Okay.
You can always take a private tutorial, but for tarot or astrology, but nothing self-directed or nothing yet for that. But I was thinking more writing, film, even these there's so many mini courses, you know, or just even taking one little tiny class in iMovie or GarageBand, I don't know. Something fun that you would like to try. Or that, what's that thing? One time I did the Shaka Khan drumming course. That was pretty silly, but master something teachers, something you can sign up for.
Oh, the master class?
Yeah, when they have like David and all the people in there, you know, the different types, don't you know? She had me playing with them, with like the, you know, that kind of a thing, and recording it. It was fun. Any suggestions from you over there?
About classes to take?
No, or just the
High Priestess? What I feel about the High Priestess? Well, what is it? I don't think I know what it means, like that it's in like, what does it mean that it's in like the south facing like position?
So that represents the fire.
Okay.
So we can think of Virgo combining with fire in a way. And I'm thinking, trying to remember.
Sounds terrifying.
Oh yes, absolutely, my dear. Which is why we want to direct it towards a learning application. Doing that little learning that you would like for an outlet. Because otherwise it could turn into self-nitpicking or self-berating or things around what is pure, and you also think of it like that, and processing out what for you is actually spiritual or pure in your sexuality. Could be an interesting thing to look at, to examine, to think about, to do some work. Well, I guess now we'll go to the north, because I'm thinking now of inner child work. Examining, especially in this Cancer new moon, your first experiences with relationship and mothering and partnership and connection, and giving validation to yourself as a human. So what the mother does.
Yeah.
And sometimes those types of things can go astray now, can't they? And so this is kind of this Page of Cups here, reversed. It can mean you're neglecting your inner child in a way. Or that you're just kind of, how do you say, there can be maybe some avoidance in general. And that's collective, I think, in the material realm right now. Okay. So we can be experiencing some forms of escapism, or, well, also, yes, this thing about getting back into reintegration into social atmospheres and feeling a bit off or a bit shy. And so maybe you hit the bottle a little extra harder than you need to.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, now.
So when you were talking about accessing the inner child, I have been having really great success with that using hypnotherapy and doing age regressions and helping people get to like the very earliest parts of themselves and their relationships with their mothers through that. It's really, really good stuff.
Love it.
Yeah. It's like a lot of people can't do like inner child work either. Like I have trouble with it too, because your ego gets in the way. Mm-hmm. So with hypnotherapy, because you're in the trance state, your ego kind of like steps to the side. So you can like,
so it allows your unconscious to go full.
Yeah, you can like talk to your body. That's how I can get people to actually like, if they're in physical pain, to say like, well, ask your stomach, what does it want you to know? People can't do that if they're not in a trance state a lot of times, because they're too self-conscious. And the same is with the inner child and the ability to even be playful at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's interesting to take a look at this new moon Friday and just take a look at what is there, what were your first impressions of relationship, and do those align with who you are, or did they misalign, and do you need to, what can you call in on this new moon to recalibrate? Okay, then we'll go to, do you have anything else to say about that, darling?
No, that was beautiful. I like the misalignment language. My phone is losing. I like the misalignment language around parenting, around parent-child relationships. I think it's really accurate, and just that not everyone's always a great fit for each other. and no one's bad because of that. It's just a misalignment. Yeah.
And then, just taking a look at what you watched and how you might be trying to apply it into your current relationships and how it's misaligning there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Four of Swords we have now for the East, which is air and mental and intellectual. But I like to think more of a mental. Because we're all a little mental, especially out in the West, the Western Hemisphere. So for this one, or where there's white people. So this one, the Four of Swords is kind of like a mental stability. I haven't had that for a while now.
That sounds great.
So how do we get that? How do we get there? We need to rest. We need to rest our minds.
I like that.
We need to recuperate. We need to allow for the thoughts to flow through until they can dissipate. And sometimes that can happen. And sometimes what you have to do then is just say, okay, these thoughts are not exiting now, and finding a way to label them or into what they are, where they're coming from, getting to the root of the thought.
I think tapping is great for rest, for getting to the root, and tapping is great for getting to the root and for rest, because we can't really rest if our nervous system is on fire.
I'm no doctor, but taking magnesium.
Love magnesium. Not having an inflammatory diet is really great.
Water, lots of water, staying hydrated.
And then, probably most people already know this, but really vigorous exercise helps get you out of your prefrontal cortex, which is the part that makes us really exhausted and has us spinning. I mean, we need it because it helps us make good decisions, but it's the part that spins us out. And so when we exercise a lot, we can get out of that mind and get back into our bodies where we belong and where we feel relaxed. So go for a run, dance, do some cardio.
Bowling?
I mean, sure. I'll go bowling with you, Dr. Irwin. Sounds like a date. Sounds like a hot date. Hot Friday night for me. Maybe some Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
You would be a star at Chuck E. Cheese. Atlantic Terminal Chuck E. Cheese. My God.
Next time I'm in town, honey. Okay, we have one more. Water. We have the Ace of Swords for water. And what does water represent?
Emotion.
Yeah, and feelings. So the swords represents intellect and mental. So it's an intersection between the two. So I think when we the way we traveled through the cards, we went from mental rest, and when you are able to rest, you get a new seed of you've integrated into your DNA structure, your cellular structure, a new way of perception. With this comes a new form of emotion, a new perception of looking at the emotion, a new mental awareness, a new awareness, understanding of the emotional state and feelings. What do you think, honey?
I love it. Love it. That's what we all are looking for.
Yeah. Take a deep breath and go do the work, my friends. That's the lovely Mary Mahoney. Or I suppose it will be on that side. I don't even know.
Thank you for having me as your guest.
It's been such an honor. You're a hero in my book, and we hope to have you back soon again.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.